G'day folks, this is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today I am in Sequatchie Valley, Tennessee. We just finished a 2-day grazing school and I'm on Manderley Farms. This is the farm that Isaac and I came to back in 2022, 3 years ago. And Elson and Andrew Mass had just taken this farm over. Matter of fact, I didn't realize, but Elson said he'd only been here 2 weeks when Isaac and I came. And it was, I don't know, I think they had 5 or 6 herds here. They were running about 500 to 600 cows. And the whole place was just a wreck. There wasn't any grass anywhere. It was just all mud. No rotation to speak of. There was no recovery, no rest. And yeah, I mean, it was really depressing to look at. But I made some recommendations to Elson and Andrew, and thank goodness they had the freedom to make those changes. And when they did, they turned this place around. Today, it is a beautiful. They've just done a wonderful job of turning it around. It's got. They're running cow-calf operation. There's the cattle in the foreground there. There's 300 head over there in one group now, not 5, 1. There's steers and heifers in there. They've got the bulls separated. And they're in their own herd. And then there's the sheep. You see that white spot in the middle? There's sheep, and then there's goats with a guard dog. All of those are in one paddock. So the sheep and the goats and that cattle herd are all being grazed together. And it's amazing the difference that they've made on their genetics. They brought in some of our South Pole bulls several years back and started breeding these Black Angus cows, and they've really got some nice heifers in there now. They're about the right size. They had some giant cows in here. I mean, monsters. And I told them, I said, they're not going to work. They're too darn big. They're grain. I call them grainivores. Cows are thin. You couldn't get within 100 yards of them. The darn things would run. Yesterday we did a pasture walk. Well, actually, that big tractor you see over there, we had about 50 or 60 people on there. It's even got heaters on it. Those kerosene type heaters. Anyway, we drove right out there in the middle of those cows. Everybody got out and did some fencing and some watering demonstrations, talked about grass genetics. It was just a great afternoon. And yeah, it's cold out here right now. The sun's not out. We just finished up the school. This is Saturday. I'll be flying out of here in the morning, going back to Missouri where it's really cold. It's not, you know, after being in Missouri, it was 17 below, wind chill on Wednesday. When I left on Thursday morning, it was brutal. But yeah, you do what you got to do. But yeah, they're moving these cattle twice a day. They've got some hay out here now. They're a lot closer to spring than we are. I mean, look at that. There's green out there. You don't see that in Missouri. So they're at least 3 weeks ahead of us. And they've got, the bulls are right down the road over there. Man, they've got some nice bulls in there. Of course, I thought the best one in there, one of the best was, I had to kid Elsa. I'm like, it was a 2019 macho that they bought from us. Boy, he was a chunk of meat. My goodness. But this is a neat farm, folks. There's a Christian camp up on top of that mountain right there. That's where we had our conference at. I can't zero in any further. You can see the building up there. Well, there's 25 cabins up there, log cabins, and they bring kids out here, and they have these Christian summer camps out here, and the kids learn how to shoot bow and arrows and how to start fire. I mean, it's a great place to be a kid and enjoy the beautiful mountains around here in Tennessee. And then the farm, you know, it's just a beautiful area. They got a frisbee golf. That's what this is right here in front of me. That's a frisbee golf course, and it goes up the side of that mountain over there. I mean, it's just a beautiful area. But yeah, it's pretty nice to see that this is going to be preserved. This is not going to be houses. The owner has put this basically into, you know, the deal is the farm needs to show a profit, and it wasn't doing that. It was I'm not going to tell you the numbers, but it wasn't making any money. And now that they've got things kind of going, I remember the first year we came here in 22, their fertilizer bill was right at $90,000 a year. Folks, they're not putting down fertilizer anymore. That's $90,000 that's not being spent. And that's because of moving those cows out there. And they've got a fine looking herd out there. I mean, they're nice. They're the right size. They're taking the Black Angus. They kept the smaller frame ones, and now they're breeding them to smaller frame South Pole bulls. They're getting some beautiful heifers in there. I mean, absolute beauts. And by moving the sheep and the goats in there, the sheep and the goats are taking care of all the woodies. So there's no sprouts taking over the pastures because the sheep and the goats take care of that. And the sheep and the sheep and the goats soak up the cow parasites. The cows soak up the goat and the sheep parasites. So they're acting as a co-host, kind of like a vacuum cleaner, sucking up each other's parasites. It's a dead-end host. The parasite can't complete its life cycle. Can't get it any better than that. Look at this view, folks. I mean, good lands. Get to look at this every day. This is the Sequatchie Valley. The Sequatchie River is over there on the side of that, right along that bluff over there. And it's a river. It's a floatable river. I mean, you can take a canoe or a raft down that thing. And then this side, I think Jerry goes clear up on top of the mountain, the landowner, on the back side of that mountain. And yeah, it's just it's pretty neat when we still have farms that are going to be preserved and not built into houses. It's going to be like this for in perpetuity, you know. So unless you do some kind of land trust or lock it up in a conservation easement, when you pass away, your relatives are going to put houses, they're going to sell it off as house sites. So we're losing our country to houses. So some of you old timers, you don't have your kids coming back to the farm, you might want to be thinking about what you're going to do with your farm, because when you're gone, they're going to sell it and take the money, and then you're going to have houses all over it. And you know, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But it's kind of not the best legacy to leave behind. I mean, you farmed it your whole life and then it turned to houses. Yeah, Jerry was forward enough thinking that she didn't want that to happen. And she's all about helping children. You know, people that grow up in the city never have access to this, folks. It's a treat to come out here and spend a week at a camp like this and have the counselors, you know, teaching the kids real life lessons. And you know, I just can't say enough good about Elson and Andrew. Andrew's wife, I apologize, I forgot your name. Even Elson's wife, I mean, she was here the whole weekend taking care of the grandkids. I mean, you can tell it's a family deal. Justin, he's the other worker here. I mean, You can tell they care about the land. They ran a lot of water lines right where we told them they needed to run them. They've got quick couplers. I think he said they've put in over 50. They've got over 50 water couplers all through this 1,000 acres now. And what that's allowed them to do, folks, is to rotate the animals. They didn't have any water on this ranch. Well, they had 15 ponds. The cows were using them as bathtubs. Elson made a comment. He said, yeah, when I got here and I saw a cow pooping in one divot, and there was another cow was peeing on the other, and then there's one in the middle of the pond drinking it. He said, to me, that just didn't seem right. And when I came, I told him, I said, you got to get that stopped. I mean, they just destroyed the ponds. So now we got good piped water out here. The cattle are getting, and the sheep and the goats have good water. They're being moved twice a day. Things are rocking. I can't wait to come back here in 3 years and see what it looks like. I mean, they did a time lapse, Andrew did. He put a drone in the air and flew over this farm at the same exact date, 3 years in a row. At each location, on each side of the farm, different landscapes. Oh my gosh. It was crazy. You could just see the dramatic improvement each year. So yeah, they're going the right way. I'm gonna get out here. My fingers are about froze off. And we'll see y'all next time. Y'all take care.